I'm a BTech mechanical engineer, completed in 2014. I think chemistry is a very much scoring subject, and students can learn and implement the chemistry knowledge. So I'm about to start my class. Hello students. Today's subject is chemistry, and I am teaching you photoelectric effect. So photoelectric effect is, there is a metal surface, and when light strike to it, then electron will come out, and this phenomenon is called photoelectric effect. So photoelectric effect is the emission of electrons when the light is hit a material. The material is a metal that is like lithium, sodium, magnesium. So these are the metals. When light strike to it, then the electrons will come out. So there is certain metals which are sensitive to the radiation of light. The first group elements, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, are sensitive to visible light. Zn and Cd also are sensitive, but they are sensitive only to ultraviolet radiation. So they can emit electrons when ultraviolet radiation strikes to their surface. So we are conducting an experiment here, which we have to take a metal surface and we are varying the light frequency. So we can vary the frequency of light, and when we are varying and taking a graph here, so we can see clearly that the frequency we have variated from 0 to a certain point mu naught. So when the frequency is less than the mu naught, this much reason, then no photo no photoelectric effect photoelectric effect will occur. And if we exceed the frequency from mu naught, there will be photoelectric effect. So the conditions are, there is a minimum frequency where photoelectric effect occurs, and that minimum frequency is called threshold frequency, and the corresponding wavelength is also called threshold wavelength. So as we know that the energy of light is proportional to the frequency. So energy of light is proportional to the frequency. So we can say that the light which incident on the metal have a certain frequency that occurs the electrons. So it is the requirement, there is a requirement for photoelectric effect, that is, if the incident frequency is less than the threshold frequency. This one is called threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. And this frequency, incident frequency, is less than threshold frequency, then the photoelectric effect are not observed. But if the incident frequency is equals to the threshold frequency, then photoelectric effect observed with no kinetic energy. And the third case is if the nu is greater than the nu naught, that is threshold frequency, then photoelectric effect will occur, and these photoelectrons have some kinetic energy associated with it. Associated with. So in the figure we can see clearly that photoelectric effect here, light is incident on the metal surface. This one is our metal surface, and when the light incident on the metal surface, so the electron come out, and these are come out with some amount of kinetic energy. So metals have some binding energy, and that binding energy can be understood by that this one is our nucleus, and here some electron here. So when the electron and nucleus are in a distance between r, this distance is called radius, and there is a force. That force is called electrostatic force. This force prevents the electrons to come out, and this force is responsible for the binding energy. So binding energy is that energy that the electron has bounded by the nucleus, and when a photon strikes to the metal, then the photon must have to overcome that binding energy. So here, what is work function? So earlier we have written work function is the minimum energy. Work function is the minimum energy requires for the ejection of electrons from the metal surface. So it is also called threshold energy.